Hi, we're out on the range today, and once again we're talking about a couple of different types of 9mm personal protection ammunition. Now what I've got is this NovX cross-trainer competition ammunition, and then its partner, the NovX Engagement Extreme Self-Defense ammo. This RNP ammunition comes in a bundle pack, and it's 2 boxes of 50 rounds each of the Inceptor target ammunition, and then 1 box of 25 rounds of the Inceptor Next Generation Defense ammo. Now, these are some really interesting types of ammunition. Let me show you a close-up of them. And what you're looking at from your left to right are a conventional 115 grain full metal jacket round nose, the Inceptor Target, the Inceptor Next Generation Defense, the NovX Cross-Trainer Competition, and the NovX Engagement Extreme Self-Defense round. And if you look at these 2 rounds that are made for defense, it's a very interesting bullet design. That the best I can describe it, it looks like a cross between a shotgun rifled slug and the head of a Phillips screwdriver. Well, the ammunition certainly looks interesting, and it's also constructed in an interesting way. All of these are 65 grain projectiles, and they're not your typical lead with a copper jacket. Let me read the box. New 9mm Luger Plus P Engagement Extreme Self-Defense, stainless steel casing and ARX copper polymer projectile. And the strange shape of that projectile, the idea is to give you good effect on the intended target while not being an expanding bullet. Also, this ammunition is labeled Plus P and has an advertised velocity on the box of 1,655 feet per second. The Inceptor ammunition is non-Plus P and has an advertised velocity of 1,540 feet per second. Both of those sound excessive, but remember they're only 65 grain projectiles. Now this brings up a few questions, such as, will this uniquely shaped projectile give you the desired effect on the intended target? Will either of these actually deliver the velocity that's advertised on the box? And will they shoot accurately? Most 9mm handguns are designed to shoot what would be considered more conventional 9mm ammo. Now there's a wide variety of stuff out there, but most ammunition is going to be stuff in the same category as this. And what's most common is a 115 or 124 grain projectile that's giving you a velocity in the area of around 1,100 feet per second. When you go outside of those parameters with stuff like this, sometimes reliability and accuracy can suffer. So, will this stuff be effective, be accurate, be reliable? Will it deliver the velocities they advertise? Well, we'll take our 2 9mm pistols and we'll take this ammunition and see if we can answer those questions. First, we want to look at accuracy. I've got my Beretta 92FS loaded with Winchester White Box 115 grain full metal jacket round nose, and I've got 2 targets set up at 15 yards. I'll shoot the top target with this, then reload and shoot the bottom target with the Inceptor Target 65 grain, and see how they compare. And now we'll try our Inceptor ammo. Let's take a closer look. I zeroed the 92F with 115 grain ammo, and we're hitting pretty much in the center. With the 65 grain Inceptor ammo, not even close to the same place, and the group's not as good. So I'll put up a couple of new targets, paste up those shot holes that weren't on the targets, try this drill again with my Smith & Wesson M&P Compact, and see how the results compare. Now I've got my Smith & Wesson M&P Compact loaded with the Winchester White Box 115 grain, and I'll shoot the top target with this, and then shoot the bottom target with the Inceptor 65 grain. And this time I'm going to shoot from 10 yards because, as I've said before, I can't shoot the M&P Compact as well as I can the 92F. And now our Inceptor ammo. And let's take a closer look. And with the M&P Compact, we see basically the same results. I zeroed it with 115 grain ammunition, and we're hitting in the center. With our 65 grain Inceptor ammunition, the group's not as good, and it's not hitting in the same place. Now this appears to be not as much difference as we had with the 92F, but remember, we're closer. If we were at 15 yards, that would be farther off the mark. So again, I can say it's not even hitting close to the same place as the conventional ammunition is. I've got two new targets set up, and I'll go back 10 yards and I'll shoot my Smith & Wesson M&P Compact. And I'll shoot the top target with the Inceptor 65 grain target ammo, and then the bottom target with the Inceptor 65 grain next generation defense ammo, and let's see if their target ammo and their carry ammo can hit in the same place. Now, an important thing to point out here is I actually shot the target ammo at the lower target and the carry ammo at the upper target. But the question, do they hit in the same place? No. But at least it's pretty close. Now we're back to our 92FS. We know that with 115 grain projectiles it'll hit in the center of the target, and with that Inceptor ammunition it didn't. Now let's try our NovX cross-trainer competition ammunition. It's still a 65 grain projectile, but it's a different brand. I'll go back 15 yards and I'll shoot the top target with this cross-trainer competition ammunition. Then I'll shoot the bottom target with the Engagement extreme self-defense ammo, and we'll see if those two ammunitions hit in the same place, even if it isn't necessarily in the center of the target. Now when we shot the Inceptor target ammunition out of the 92F, we saw that it was low and to the left. Now with the NovX cross-trainer competition ammunition, we see the same phenomena, low and to the left. Also, you see a couple of shots completely off the target. When the first one happened, I thought that was a flyer. I thought it was just me, until I got another shot in virtually the same place. We also see that when we shoot our Engagement extreme self-defense ammunition, even though it's low and to the left, these two ammunitions are not consistently so. Are they close enough? So, we'll put up new targets, paste up these two shot holes over here, try this drill again with our Smith & Wesson M&P Compact, and see how the results compare. Now with the M&P Compact I shot from 10 yards, and I shot the NovX cross-trainer competition ammunition at the top target and the Engagement extreme self-defense ammunition at the bottom target. And so our two questions, do these ammunitions shoot accurately and do the practice and carry ammunition hit consistently with each other, seems that the answer to both of those is yes. And whether or not this non-conventional ammunition is going to hit where you want it to and hit consistently seems to depend a lot on which brand you have and what type of gun you're shooting it through. Normally in presentations like this, I'll get some chronograph numbers. Today I'm not going to do that for two main reasons. One, it wouldn't be fair. As much as I would like to get some chronograph results and then tell you that numbers like 1655 or 1540 that this ammunition was advertising isn't accurate, whenever they did whatever testing they did it with a pistol with a full-length barrel, not something like the 3.5-inch barrel on this M&P Compact. To shoot the chronograph with this just wouldn't be fair to the manufacturer. Also, I can't really use my Beretta 92FS because the results I was getting with this ammunition were so poor that to shoot the chronograph with this might very well shoot the chronograph. The best we could hope for is that whatever numbers we get wouldn't be accurate. So I'm going to skip the chronograph today and go directly to a couple of demonstrations that I think can show us how powerful this ammunition is compared to conventional ammo. We've got a pair of $2 concrete blocks, and I'll use my Smith & Wesson M&P Compact. I'll go back 10 yards and I'll shoot the block on your left with our Inceptor 65 grain target ammunition, and then I'll shoot the block on your right with our Winchester White Box 115 grain full metal jacket round nose, and let's compare the results. So I shot the cinder block on your left 17 times and the one on the right 11 times. And some people may say I kept kicking this one after it was down, and that may be. But this still shows that our 65 grain Inceptor ammunition does not perform as well against hard targets as conventional full metal jacket ammunition does, which may be exactly what you're going for. So let's get rid of all of this, put up two new concrete blocks, and I'll shoot the one on your left with this NovX cross-trainer competition ammunition. And again, I'll shoot the one on your right with the Winchester White Box 115 grain full metal jacket. And let's compare the results. So this time we got 16 and 12. So pretty consistent results. Now let's try something else. And now we're going to shoot the meat target. Forgive the redundancy, but the meat target is leather jacket skin, followed by pork chop pectorals, pork ribs, a bag of oranges to simulate lung tissue, more pork ribs on the back, 4 layers of t-shirt in front, 4 layers on the back, the whole thing followed by the new and improved high-tech fleece bullet stop. And I'll go back 7 yards with my Smith & Wesson M&P Compact, and I'll shoot it with our Inceptor next generation defense ammunition, and see just how much damage this non-expanding projectile can do. Well, we got our meat target torn apart and we recovered our projectiles. Let me show you what these projectiles look like. And there they are. And they're supposed to be non-expanding, and they're not. The level of deformation on these is just about 0. As far as damage to the meat target, The ribs on the front have some impressive holes in them, and where the bullets hit the ribs shattered them. Did a lot of damage to our orange lung tissue, and the ribs on the back, where the bullets actually hit a rib, broke it. The biggest difference I'm seeing between this Inceptor ammunition and conventional 9mm hollow points is that the hollow points are almost always stopped by the t-shirt on the back of the target or by the first or second layer of fleece. These Inceptor rounds went through the meat target and they all penetrated to the 10th to 15th layer of fleece. So not only do they go through the target, but they still have a lot of ability to penetrate after they do. So let's put up a new meat target and we'll shoot it with the NovX Engagement Extreme Self-Defense ammunition and see how it does. Now let me show you a close-up of the NovX projectile. I fired 5 shots but only recovered 4 projectiles. 3 did not deform in the least, and 1 shattered, and that's the only piece of it I found. The damage to the target with the NovX ammunition is very similar to what we got with the Inceptor ammunition. The ribs on the front, some impressive holes where the bullets actually hit ribs, shattered them. Ribs on the back, where the bullets hit a rib, broke it. Extensive damage to our orange lung tissue. The biggest difference I saw was that with the Inceptor ammunition, the bullets were stopped by the 10th to 15th layer of fleece. With the NovX ammunition and its slightly higher velocity, the bullets were all stopped by the 15th to 20th layer of fleece. So a lot of damage to our target, but better potential for secondary penetration. So when you get right down to it, it would appear that our Inceptor and our NovX ammunitions have some real advantages and some real disadvantages. One of the big pluses is that it seemed to do a lot of damage to our meat target. But a big minus is that after going through the meat target, it seemed to have a lot of potential for overpenetration, at least compared to conventional hollow points. Another big plus is it seems less likely that it's going to go through hard barriers, as illustrated by the cinder blocks. But a big minus is it's got less ability to go through hard barriers, as illustrated by the cinder blocks. Another plus that might affect some people is, since all of these only have 65 grain projectiles, which is a lot less than 115, which is quite a bit more common, you might have an advantage in the light ammo. Now, when I loaded my Beretta's 15-shot magazine with 15 rounds, I couldn't really feel the difference between one type of ammo and the other. But if you're someone who's carrying a 9mm and carrying a lot of ammunition, like 200 or 300 rounds, there would be a significant difference in weight. So this type of ammunition might be something to look at. Now, another thing that comes up with this type of ammo is that here in the United States, there are some jurisdictions that have prohibitions against hollow point or expanding projectiles. Well, we saw that this type of projectile did not expand at all, so it might be a real plus for those people who live in those jurisdictions. However, in different places, those laws are written in different ways, so this type of ammo does not automatically get around those things. And I know I've said this before, but you've got to check with your local attorney and check your local laws diligently. Now, a real big minus of this type of ammunition is that we saw that at least in some handguns, it's not going to hit in the same place as your more conventional ammunition. And that would mean that if you're going to use this, for some handguns, you're going to have to sight in with this type of ammunition and completely abandon the idea of using more conventional ammo. Well, that will work for some guns, but not for all. This Beretta, its rear sight is dovetailed in. You just hit it with a mallet to adjust for windage. But there is no adjustment for elevation. We saw with this type of ammo it was hitting quite a bit low. The only way I'm going to fix that is start filing off my rear sight. Not something I want to do. Another thing I want to mention is that there are a lot of people who will sight their pistol in and practice with a conventional type of ammo, and then they'll load with something like this without ever having fired it. And in some guns, when you switch from a conventional practice ammunition to a high-tech, high-performance, what I'll call hyper ammo, sometimes your point of impact can change drastically, and you've got to be aware of that kind of thing. So, although this ammunition might have some real pluses and might work for some people, for me, the minuses definitely outweigh the pluses. So, as always, don't try this at home. I'm what you call a professional, and thanks for watching the Inceptor and NovX ammunition video.